Okay, we are live today. We're 375, right? 375. Today we're looking at more properties to keep on building out a BRRRR list, right? Just staying on top of our property. So if you remember, we have a typically if you are looking to do the BRRRR strategy, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. The goal is to pull back out as much capital as possible so that you can recycle that capital to keep buying more deals. So let's say you want to be all in and you can refinance into a loan for about 70% of the loan value. Then you want your purchase price and your total rehab cost, cash all in, to be $70,000. Because if you can get a property to be worth $100,000 afterwards, then you will be able to get a loan back out for 70 grand. And that's how you get back out all your capital. And you can recycle the same 70 grand to keep buying more properties, assuming you can force enough value on those properties with whether that's a 40 grand home and you add 30 grand and make it worth 100. I mean, that's all possible. But you need to make sure that the comparable sold properties actually justify the value of the home to be worth 100 grand. And how I do it is I've been building out a list of renovated properties and only renovated properties by zip code and by subdivisions. And by subdivisions, I really mean something like this. So this property, let's see, I'm filtered on today on properties that are 4-bedroom plus, single family homes, and these are on Redfin for less than 3 days. And this allows me to quickly pick apart what new listings come on every single day, because now I can see what the market is doing real time, as fresh data as possible. And this property, 2608 Court R, just came onto the new electrical, plumbing, water heating. Okay, so pretty much everything is brand new, and it's almost over 2,000 square feet, 4-bed, 2-bath. So that's gonna be great rental. Now, but this property is listed for $179,000. Okay, but this property is very, very new, so relatively turnkey. But if you were to ever say, hey, how do I go turn a property, a 4-bed, 2-bath, into a $179,000 home? I mean, sometimes you could just take the thinking out of it. You could just literally hand this listing to your contractor and say, hey, I want to make my 2,000 square feet home look something like this. And this way you take the guesswork out of it, because if you ever get an appraisal back from an appraiser and you don't reach that desired appraisal price, well, you can send them this listing and say, hey, this is what I based my design off of. And assuming you're in the same neighborhood. So if I go into the map right here, I always look at, okay, this property near this thing is called Ensley Highlands. Ensley Highlands. So I'm gonna go to 35218. I'm gonna build out this list, right? Because this is important. And I'm going to note what neighborhood this property is in. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, and 2166. Sorry, 2166. This is built in 1926, 179. That's being sold for $62 a square foot. Huh, that's really close to the other property I have up there. Interesting, right? Interesting. 2024. Let's see what the lot size is. I want to be within 6534 square feet. No garage from what I see, right? Let's see. Yeah, no garage. No garage, no basement. No HOA. Ensley Highlands. Fully renovated. Super nice kitchen and bathrooms. All new light LVP. Light brown LVP. Okay, now that I know that this is what they're going to sell for, well, now you can go and analyze, hey, is this property going to be a deal, right? So now that I've built up my list, I can go to affordablehousing.com. I can go to the owner section, market rent estimator, plug in the address, plug in a bedroom count, and now I can see that the average rent is $1,350. The most important number here is this number here on the bottom right. Now, obviously, you guys can look at the HUD FMR, and you'll probably come back to the same conclusion that the rent reasonableness test states that you have to use this rent number as your rental amount, right? If you're not familiar with the rent reasonableness test, go back to a few episodes where our journal live streams went through the rent reasonableness test, and maybe I'll do one YouTube video on that at some point. So, all right, so $179,000. We're going to analyze this deal right now and see why it's not a deal. For my rehab estimate in B6, that's coming straight from my rehab calculator, and I don't need to paint. I'm going to leave aside $1,500 for the roof just so I have a little bit of something. $500 to keep the landscaping clean, and 2 bathrooms. So I'm going to replace 2 of the toilets with a higher pressure flush toilets, and that's all I need for $3,500. $1,350 is my rent. For my taxes, let's go down to the Redfin estimate. You should always double check with your county assessor records, but this is a good start. And my homeowner insurance is $139, so it equals $139 times 1.2. I'm multiplying by 1.2 because I'm adding a 20% premium to that insurance expense number. That's why I'm at $166.80, right? Insurance companies view investment properties as riskier assets, so they're going to charge more premium. So that's why I'm adding a 20% premium. Maintenance, war chest. This is 10% of my rent I set aside every single month because this money does not belong to me, right? If after 100 months I realize I need to replace the roof, well, I better put aside $135 every single month because that roof replacement will easily cost you probably $13,000. I just got a roof replacement bill at one of our homes for $15,000. So this is money that doesn't belong to you. Make sure you set aside this money every single month because so often people trick you and they say, hey, the cash flow from this deal is $1,350 and your PITI is $1,000, so you're going to cash flow $350. But they always forget about the expenses, right? So after you take aside some money for maintenance and long-term CapEx, you take aside some money for property management, you take aside some money for vacancy. Now all of a sudden, you're probably going to be losing money, right? Let's go to my down payment. In F19, I'll put 20% down. My down payment is going to equal to B4 times my F19. That's $35,800. I got 2.5% for closing costs, and I got $3,500 from our renovations reserve. For my principal, I got my asking price in B4 minus my down payment, and that's how much I'm financing at about 7% interest rates, what I've been seeing lately. So if we rent this property out for $1,350, I'll be negative cash flow, $177 a month. That's a negative 4.9% return, assuming you bought this property for $179,000 with a $35 rehab, 25% down, and 7% interest rate. So if I lower this property to $105,000, that's the only way. And again, not investment advice. This is not investment advice. We're not soliciting any investments on this call. This is the only way you can get close to 9.6% if you buy a 4-bedroom property in this zip code and you can rent it out for $1,350 because now you can cash flow $217 a month. 9.6% rounds up to 10. And again, I'm not saying 10% is the magical number for everybody, but sometimes you got to figure out what's worth all the time and energy that you're putting into the deal and all the execution risk, right? What is execution risk? Is when do you expect is your contractor going to show up on time every single day, do what he or she said they were going to do, and finish it on time, on budget? That's execution risk. Whatever you put in a spreadsheet, these are just numbers. The rationale behind how you get this done, that's what's most important. Okay? All right. So this is it. And that's why this is not a deal unless you can get the property for $105,000. So that's how we analyze the deal, right? Don't waste the time just analyzing the deal. If you're smart, also start building out your BRRRR list of comparable sales. So you're tracking in the market, whatever market you're in, you're tracking what's happening. What is $1 per square foot? Is there a certain amount of square foot that you just don't see that incremental return, right? Because at some point, your dollar per square foot goes down because you might build a 4,000 square foot home, but this market has no desire for a 4,000 square feet home. So now your price per square foot goes down tremendously. So these are all the items that you got to pay attention to. And there's no way around it. For you to get a comfort around your ability to fully and do it like a perfect BRRRR to pull back as much as capital, that's going to be very dependent on you getting the right comps and getting the right idea on whether or not you're estimating your after repair value or your ARV correctly. Okay. So I hope this was helpful for everybody. And if you guys want to copy the spreadsheet, just go to affordablehousing.io. You guys can go to the Get Deal Analysis tool, put in your name, email, your phone number. I promise I won't spam you. And that's the fastest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet. I didn't make this spreadsheet from scratch. Got it from a few other folks. I modified it. I tweaked it so that I can analyze deals a lot faster. But that's it. I hope you all have an amazing Sunday, amazing Thursday. I'll see you all again tomorrow for day 376. Have a good one, everybody.